Hello everyone, Timely Manor here, back with another video. This time it's of the Ferrari F80.
Now this design is a particularly intricate design. There's a lot of details in the mock itself. So before we actually get in the car, I actually want to discuss the design of the real car itself. So to do that, I've got the help of my 1/18 scale Burago Signature Series Ferrari F80. And let's start just with the fact that my favorite angle of the car is this side view, and especially when you look at it from this low angle here. Now let's see if I can zoom out a bit more. So yeah, with this angle, I think there's a few things that really stand out to me. So first of all, the cabin is very small. And this is quite common of some Ferraris in the modern era, like the Daytona SP3 has this sort of like very bubble style cockpit, which is obviously very aesthetically pleasing. But in this case, it's particularly special because of the expanse of red of body color at the rear of the car. So you can see there's a lack of windows, which I at first when I first saw the design of this car, I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get windows at the rear of the car. But now, after looking at this for such a long time, I understand why that's the case. Having so much body color in this section here makes the cabin look further forward than it actually is. And what that does is it gives the car this sort of very powerful look at the rear. And that's very important because the engine is at the rear, the electric motors are at the rear. Obviously there's some at the front as well, but we can discuss that in a bit. The massive wing is at the rear as well. What this does is it gives the car this sort of big thruster look at the rear of the car, pushing the entire thing forward. Speaking of thrusters, the designers of this car used this very clever trick where the channels of the air that comes along the sides of the car and into these ducts, they've also colored in black to blend in with the cabin here. And actually, the cabin is very narrow. They've actually made a point to reduce the sort of area of the cabin. However, using the channels of air in black to blend in with that, from the top view, the cabin actually looks quite big. But this actually looks like the shape looks like there's a canopy with wings on the side of the car, and those wings lead to these sort of nakaduck shapes which have been interpreted aesthetically in a new way, and I think they actually look like thrusters. Again, thinking of evoking the imagination of spaceships, this to me looks like some kind of space shuttle. And when we think of aerospace as well, another detail that links to that is the curvature of the doors. This sort of, I think designers call this dihedral cross section, because when you sort of cut the car at the front, you can see it goes inwards down from the sides. And this is a common feature in certain Ferraris like the Ferrari 296 as well, and the more recent Ferrari 849 Testarossa. I think it gives the car this sort of tubular body, which again links to aerospace. You think of airplanes, jets, and rockets, they've all got these sort of tubular bodies as well. Now, at the front, these sort of black bar headlights here are a major source of controversy. A lot of people still don't really like this design, and I think a lot of people don't get to appreciate it from higher angles, because when you look at it from a higher angle like this, you get to see how extreme this sort of angle is, from the middle section to the sides, and it's sort of like this black arrow that sort of points forward and gives the car even more forward motion. Now, speaking of forward motion, obviously on the top of the wheels, you've got the arches here, and the arches sort of bulge out from the center of the hood here. It's quite subtle, but again, gives that car the muscle that is over the wheels. And that's also linking to the fact that this car is also has also electric motors on the front of the car. Again, it has power on both the front and rear wheels of the car. And the front power is supported on the ground firmly using these straight lines here. And these lines, this one in particular, actually links back to a lot of older Ferrari designs, like the Enzo and the F40, for example. Now, in the front of the car, we have some additional details that I really like. So obviously over the top, you've got the S-duct, so a really big one here, and a smaller one right behind the black bar. So the black bar actually provides also some aerodynamic purpose. And when we look at the mouth, this is one of my favorite bits. You've got these big vents on the sides of the car, and these two small intakes here. Now, at first, when I saw this car, I actually didn't like these intakes, especially in body color. I just thought it's really strange that they would emphasize these details, because it looks like the car has two big tooth in the front of the car, along with this sort of lip at the bottom. But I think now, after looking at this design for a very long time, it gives the car a lot of personality. It gives the car this playful look. And one of the most interesting details here is the fact that the lip of the car here is actually narrower. When you look at the body color, is narrower than the top of the car. So you look at the edges of the intakes here, and they don't line up with the lip. So the lip actually lines up with the center of those brake cooling ducts. And what that does is it gives the car this sort of smiling look. And if you think about older Ferraris, a lot of them, even the ones designed by Pininfarina, for example, they have a smiling grille. And this is a way for Ferrari to sort of capture that emotion in a way that is completely new and unique. So again, not trying to repeat some of the designs over and over again, instead coming up with new ways to bring you the same intense emotion. So let's go to the mock now. Now here, I've tried to capture some of that as well. So we can see the black bar here was recreated using a combination of prints and stickers. So the silver bits here are actually prints, similar to my 849 Testarossa headlights, which were also prints as well. And I've done that using just spray paint. It's super easy to just mask off some of the areas and just spray it silver. And then this black bit is a sticker, just because I could get those really sharp lines by cutting a piece of black A4 sticker into that shape. And I managed to get that to be exactly the same length as for plates worth, which is this build section here. And the reason why I chose this technique is because this allowed me to have the center section incorporate these one by one bricks to provide those intakes at the front of the car. Again, like I said, giving that car that personality and that smiling grille using the narrower lip at the bottom of the car here. And these curved slopes here give the illusion of the side vents, which I like. Unfortunately, I'm not a Lego designer and I can't come up with a nice graphic design, but I would come up with a nice sticker to go on that to make it look like it's got that mesh grille as well. Now, here in this section, we've got the big S-duct and a small S-duct here underneath of the black bar. And I think this section is quite important because when you look at the side of the car here, if you just look at it straight on, it looks like there's a lot at the front. There's a lot of body at the front. But actually this indent here carves out some space, and it sort of joins the tip of the nose of the car with the slope of the windshield. So the slope of the windshield goes smoothly down these sections here in the center of the car, which I think really give that car that sort of wedge shape that is common in a lot of Ferraris as well, like the LaFerrari especially. Now, on the top of the car, I wanted to recreate, like I said before, the shape of the space shuttle that goes around the canopy. So I made sure to have these extended sections here in black, and I actually use additional paint here on this 1x2 inverted slope piece to help me get that exact sort of shaping for the black down below there. This sticker here just helps make that bubble canopy shape, and it's actually the same exact sticker I've used in my first Ferrari F80 MOC from a while back. These doors are a completely new build, and I managed to not only capture the curvature of the doors in the sides, but also I really like this section here where I've got a few cheese slopes sort of connecting together and curving inwards to give a very natural sort of look in that section, a natural transition from this slope which is pointing that way, obviously, to this one pointing downwards. Now here at the rear of the car, we've got the big muscle at over the rear wheels. Now, if I pull in my Ferrari Daytona SP3 MOC, I've actually updated it, and now you can clearly see the relationship between the designs of the two cars itself, showing that they are part of the same family. And speaking of the same family, again, the curvature of the doors, we look at the Ferrari 849 and it's got the same curvature on the side of the doors as well, bringing that familial bond between the cars itself, even when you look at the front and the headlight design as well. Now when we go to the engine here, this engine section has obviously the 6 vents. I've not changed this design from my original MOC because I think it's a very nice design for the engine cover here. And actually I managed to create the same details that I did in the past, having that sort of V6 engine visible underneath of the engine cover. The wing here is unfortunately not something that can be retracted. I have an alternate build for it where it's deployed. And you can see here the exhaust. I've managed to use a custom build for the exhaust. And you've seen this before if you've watched my Ferrari 296 GTB MOC, because I've come up with the design of the exhaust there as well. Again, tying this car back to other Ferrari MOCs, giving again that familial bond, which is so important. The design of the lights, again, I'm not even gonna have to say it. If I just pull out my 849 Testarossa, it's very similar. And finally, we've got the diffuser section here with these red bits just as the reflectors on the diffuser itself, like in a real car. And actually, I managed this 1x2 plate here, which could be replaced with a plate number. Now, I'm gonna show you the interior. If I just open this canopy up, you can see the 1+ seating arrangement, just denoted by the fact that the driving side has the colored seats and the passenger side does not. This actually comfortably fits 2 minifigures. The only thing I have to do is take off the headrest because that gives an extra little bit of space, but even a minifigure with a longer hairpiece like this lady here fits in very comfortably, and the shorter hairpiece can go on the driver's side as well. So if I put this over, you can see the canopy closes completely and the minifigures fit in there quite nicely. I also included these new SF90 wheels because they've got those very nice prints. And the last thing I want to show you is just a shortcut to the wing in a deployed position. And here we have it. So just a very simple conversion of some of the elements in the rear. And you can see how the wing pops up and it has a nice little angle to it, and it can be angled really far up like that to show maybe like some air braking action, but I really like it in this sort of angle here. Makes the car look like it's going really quickly around a corner on a track. So yeah, this is one of the most meaningful MOCs to me. I really enjoyed creating this car. There were so many details that were very difficult to capture, but I managed to do all of them and actually to be very happy with what I have produced. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, this MOC, and I hope you look forward to the next one.